o'clock. So let's get going here. I think should be a fairly quick meeting. So at this point, I'll call to order the Village of East Dundee regular meeting dated Monday, November 16th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Catherine, would you call the roll, please?
Hello? Yeah, here. Did someone call me? I can't hear it.
Trustee Sellup, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Dan.
Here.
Trustee Wood, also on mute. She's here. Trustee Mahoney, Trustee Andreessen,
Here.
Trustee Coonsey,
Here.
and President Miller.
Here. Okay. Kirsten, if you're there, you're still on mute. Otherwise, we'll come back to you. At this point, we will bypass the Pledge of Allegiance. I will open the floor for public comment on anything on the agenda. If there's anybody with us tonight that would like to speak on any agenda items.
Mr. Chairman?
We have Chris Caius there wanting to make a comment.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you, Lael, and thank you for opening the mic up. I like to catch your meetings if I can, and I catch them on video too. It's really nice to be able to see everybody, and you guys work really well together. So it's interesting to watch a non-dysfunctional meeting. That's a joke.
Stick around.
Just a couple.
Stick around till after the meeting.
If you don't mind, I just mentioned a couple things. My name's Chris Caius. I live in Algonquin, 340 Winding Canyon Way, and I'm the county board member for District 23. And just a couple of things that have come up in the last week or so that you may well be aware of, but I'd just like to bring them to your attention. Our last meeting of the CAC committee, the CARES Act Allocation Committee, I'm not on that committee, but you have Cliff Surgis in your area that is that's on the committee. They announced that the funds should be well on the way to being distributed to the municipalities, and I don't know if you've received those yet, but they thought within the next couple of weeks, and the meeting was the last meeting was a week or so ago, and all the monies from the 92 million should be distributed and are on schedule to be distributed by the end of December for all of the nonprofits and small businesses. And they're starting another round of small business grants that should have a lot less paperwork. Should be getting an announcement if you haven't gotten one already to help with small businesses. You can get more details if you contact the county. In the Transportation Committee this last week, we passed a resolution for $7,700,000 for the electronic toll transaction back office system. That's going to go on the Long Meadow Parkway Bridge, which you guys can then take and pay a toll for. That should be going in this next year. Maybe not start the toll then, but at least have all the equipment in and ready to go. And I just got an announcement, you may be aware of this, that Bolts Road as of November 16th will no longer be accessed from Route 25, only from Sand Bloom Road. That's part of the project and has been scheduled ahead of time for that to happen. It's on the plan. And for the Transportation Committee, KDOT is doing the 2050 plan, the county is, for the road construction. And public comment is open until, this is your last reminder, I think, open until November 18th if you want to comment on the plan up to 2050. In energy and environment, we adopted a 5-year plan for collecting solid waste and resource recovery, recycling. And we just voted this last Friday to extend with West Dundee the agreement we have for the electronics recycling drop-off. And we also will be hopefully including in December a book drop-off so that you can drop not only the recycling and for electronics, monitors are charged $25 or $35 for TVs, and you can drop clothing, and then starting in December, we'd be able to drop off books as well. And I think that was what I had for updates on the county. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Chris,
Thank you.
quick comment.
Or any questions? Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
we've had one business in town so far that's been granted the CARES, a small gym. Is there more to be coming, or was that out of all the businesses that we had in town, that's the only one? And what's the criteria for them getting chosen and not some of our bars and restaurants?
There's quite a bit of paperwork involved in the first round, and we only had $8 million set aside, I believe, for small businesses, and we only had something like 1.5 million of them qualify because there was they had to prove that they were there was a loss of income, and I'm not sure I understand the details completely. We have the state's attorney is handling that, and they have a consultant that is vetting all of those grants. But because there was so few of them that qualified, they should be opening it up again to at this, and it's going to be kind of late, so they want to make sure that they get that people get it done before the end of the year. So they need to check back with the county to make sure that because they're going to be dropping the some of the stricter requirements that we had in the first round to help not only speed it up, but also open it up to other businesses as well.
Okay, so if they did not get accepted the first time, they have to reapply, or will they just be in the queue for that?
I think they have to reapply, but there should be less requirements, so it shouldn't be as involved a process. A lot of them, I think, just gave up because there was quite a bit of accounting and the small business, and I think they moved it from 2 million to 2.5 million as well for gross. So that should include more businesses.
Okay.
But check with the county anyway. Have the businesses check to see if they don't qualify, so they can get into this next round.
Yeah.
I'm not on the committee, so I'm kind of doing it secondhand. I sit in on the on the committee meetings, but I want to make sure everybody knows that it's that there's something else going on.
Okay.
So check with the.
Chris, can I ask what happens to any undistributed funds for that program?
Well, if we don't get them out, they go back to the Fed. So we want to make sure that they get out one way or the other. Of the 92 million, about 55% was kept for county, sheriff, health department, PPE for the departments in the county, and then the 45 million was to be distributed to municipalities, nonprofits, townships, and then small business as well. So in a couple of tiers as we could handle as fast as we could. Businesses tended to be more complicated because they had to prove that they, with the bookwork, that they had sustained a loss and that they were under $2 million gross, I think, for the year before.
Okay.
That shouldn't be too tough for a lot of our businesses as far as criteria goes.
Right. Yeah. Just tell them not to give up. So keep after it, I think, is the thing.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing I just want to point out, maybe you've noticed this, Kane County Health started or stopped reporting any numbers on their webpage as of about 3 weeks ago. And we were told that they've got some hiccup with the state database. I don't seem to think
Right.
this has got that problem. Is there any way we can get that flipped back on again? What's going on?
I certainly hope so. I'll contact them and tell them that you've asked as well. But
Yeah.
yeah,
not a
we
good time to go
rely
dark.
on that data.
Yeah, we do. Okay. Very good.
It's not quite as good as your data, though, Lael. You do a great job analyzing the locals there.
Yeah, but
Really
when
well.
you
I like
get
looking at
the
those.
source data, that stops. I have no visibility
Yeah.
once you do that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anybody else for Chris? All right, let's move on. We have a consent agenda item.
Thanks, Chris.
We have a consent agenda item there that has, if somebody could make a motion to pass the consent agenda, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes dated October 19th, 2020. Item B, a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes dated November 2nd, 2020. And item C, then motion to approve the ordinance approving the final plat of Altorfer subdivision.
Very good.
Second.
Good, okay. Catherine?
Lineham,
Yes.
trustee Sella,
Yes.
Trustee Wood,
yes,
trustee Mahoney, trustee Andreessen,
yes,
trustee Coonsey,
Okay, very good.
Yes, for me as well.
Fading out.
All right, thank you. Item 5 on the agenda is a motion for rezoning. If I could have somebody make that motion, please.
I'll make a
Um,
motion to approve an ordinance approving the rezoning to the M1 Limited Manufacturing District for Lot 6 and the Gateway Crossing.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this one?
Yeah, I've got some questions on it. I mean, I don't know if it's really worth mentioning, but it's just the way these things are written, I think. They're proposed in such a way that it seems as though they're not in the best interests of the village. I mean, yeah, I understand that there may be some challenge to try and get this land developed from a retail standpoint, but I don't believe that there is absolutely no possibility for it. The other thing I'm then troubled with the write-up is it indicated that Plody has had many inquiries for this property, yet there are nothing on the table and there is nothing from a retail standpoint. Well, my thought is that if there was all kinds of opportunities coming their way for development on this property, they would have come to us with a zoning change long ago. And the other thing then that bothers me is what was it? It was the idea that there may be a trucking operation here. Now, it wasn't that long ago that this board denied that sort of operation to Pete's Towing along 25 for the simple reason that we didn't think it fit in with the plan for not only the Dundee crossings, but what we hoped for from an aesthetic standpoint for the village. We felt it was a business that was, better tucked away from the line of sight. What's the likelihood that we're going to see a trucking operation here, parking of trucks right on 25? It's not as if we don't have enough along 72. Plody's already got a big lot on the eastern portion of the town on the north end of 72, the north side. Why approve another one right there on 25? I'm struggling with this one, and as it's written, I can't agree with it. Help me out.
I mean, can I jump in? I mean, other than scrivenership aside, when the towing request came before the board, it's my recollection that Altorfer wasn't even in play. It wasn't providing a massive shield on the 72 side of things.
No, it wasn't, but I don't know that this
well, hold on.
25 request is for Altorfer anyway, is it?
Well, no. I mean, I'm just addressing what you said. So there is a shield. So it isn't an apples to apples comparison. It's an apples to oranges. Second of all, as far as retail, I mean, grass to my knowledge, there's been no interest in retail, because if there was, there would be retail there. So, I mean, speaking of the best interest of the village, I don't know that having a weed farm is in the best interest of the village when we could have a revenue producing use of the property that's completely shielded from 25 and Route 72.
Okay, that's logical, and I accept that. My question to you, though, Scott, would be, how much revenue do you suppose is going to generate for the village having a truck parking lot there?
More
If
than
that's
having
really what ends up going on there. We've
Well,
got one in the downtown that's tearing up North Street right now and Third and all of Barrington Avenue, and we're not getting a dime out of that. So,
that one's more like apples to pork chops. I mean, it's not even a comparison.
well, it's a trucking
hold on,
operation. It's a
that-
trucking
that brings-
operation. One side of the town, the other side of town. My point is, we've already got several. And I don't know that, I mean, if this is what we're talking about as far as developing a third or a fifth, I don't know that really we're going to get all that much out of it. So,
But again, we don't know what it's going to be. I mean, we're just basically enabling them to have more options to put somebody on that property. And how much is it going to generate? guarantee it's more than having.
You're breaking up, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, I mean, as far as what it's going to generate for the village, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to go there, but at the very least, we're giving the property owner more options to do something with the property. And whatever they do, I'm guessing is going to generate more revenue than having weeds or grass.
Yeah, but not necessarily for the village. That's my point. You know, because if, I mean, you put another hair salon on there, we don't get a dime. You put another trucking operation on there, we don't get a dime. You know, and what I'm saying is that, again, until every piece of commercial development or potential land that we have left in the village is used up for something else, my argument's going to be the same. It's a limited commodity, and I think we should try and get the most out of it that we can.
Well, right now it's a commodity
Has
that's worth
any-
nothing because
Jennifer?
nobody's ever come to the table.
Yeah, has anybody, Leo, anybody from Plody come to us to tell us what they have in mind?
I can address that. This is Kevin C. I'm the Vice President of Entitlement and Development for Plody, and I filled out the application. So when I made the submittal, it's true that we had not received any offers on this property. You know, it was originally platted in 1991 along with the Walmart, and it's been marketed for retail purposes since 1991, and it's never been developed. We purchased it in 2017, but I do get calls on this property for different types of industrial uses. The most common is for some type of a logistics facility. But when I made the submittal, we had not yet received any offers. After I made the submittal, we did receive a letter of intent from a group that would like to put a logistics facility on the property, but they wanted to buy the land and build their own facility. We chose not to go forward with that letter of intent because we want to retain ownership of the property. That would give us the ability to coordinate the development of this site along with the property that we have next door, the Walmart, in a more comprehensive manner. We think it's better for the property, better for the village, and better for us. So we chose not to go forward with that offer. So what we're asking tonight, it's not a specific plan. The package includes, you know, an illustrated site plan, but that's just to give you an idea of what would fit on the property. Tonight, we're only asking to rezone the property. So it doesn't mean it'll be a logistics facility. What we would like to do with this property is do a build to suit. So if someone comes to us with a use that we think makes sense, we would like to build the building for them, retain ownership, and lease it out to them.
Yeah, of course, that doesn't mean we won't end up with some sort of, you know, logistics operation there. I mean, we could, again, I'm just trying to think of, you know, best uses for the village, or best uses for the land with regard to the village, and putting an operation on there that doesn't bring in any revenue is only going to, down the road, be a detriment, I think. You know, I mean, I'm just trying to think 10, 15 years down the road here.
So two comments here. We can't zone things specifically so that we make the most amount of revenue off of them.
Well, no, I know that, Leo.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
The second thing I would just want to say, and for those of you that have worked with them, I don't know how many of you have, but I have. Working with Plody, they're probably one of the most honest and helpful developers that we've worked with in our region. They take great pride in what they do. They build great buildings, and they have always looked out for East Dundee with everything that they've done.
I'm not suggesting otherwise.
So, which is why they purchased the Walmart property, just because it's in their backyard. So, I mean, I just want to say that out loud because I think that I trust them to develop the right property. And, you know, with real estate, it's going to be the best and highest use. They're going to try and get the most out of bring the most dollars out of whoever it is that they get in there too. And whether or not
I understand that. That's
right. So, you know, whether or not, I mean, whatever it is, it's going to create jobs. It's going to create opportunities. It's going to create property tax. It's something that we don't have any of at this point.
I guess I do share some concern about the idea of a trucking business right on Route 25 there. And I'm wondering if there would be a way to connect the road that Altoffer is using to access this property? Is there even a way to do that realistically so that trucks could leave off onto Route 72 rather than onto Route 25? Or are those properties not connect?
There's too much elevation change there at this location. If you walk to the back of this property, it's a very significant grade up to the level of the Altoffer facility behind this. Further to the south, there's the Pamonte Drive that accesses the Altoffer property, but this 6.5 acres is separated from Pamonte Drive by other users to the south of us.
Scott, what's the concern about trucks accessing Route 25? I mean, Route 25 and Route 72, if you had a blindfold on, they look like the same piece of asphalt.
No, they don't.
Well, for one thing, that entrance to that particular property is pretty close to that intersection at 72 and 25, which is already a busy intersection. And as we do become the trucking capital of the Midwest, you know, there is something to be said for how much of our visible, you know, main streets we want to be lined with trucking companies. You know, right now we have, if you drive down Route 72 from, you know, in either direction, and you look to the north, you see at least 30 to 40, maybe even more tractor trailers from the main road as you drive down the street. You know, do we want to see that on Route 25 as well? I don't know, maybe, but it's at least something we should talk about and think about, because I understand that, I guess I don't know. I don't know why we have become the trucking company center for this area. Is there something about our town that is extraordinarily appealing to these truckers?
We're the first exit west of Kane County.
Cook County.
Cook County in Kane County. So we've got lower taxes, we've got lower gas prices than Cook County does. Lael, sorry if I'm jumped in.
No, that's good. That's good.
And we're a lot easier to work with. I'll give us that too.
Sure. Okay.
I would also like to add, if I could, maybe to address some of your concerns. We also are in close proximity to Interstate 90 from 25 and 31. And that often comes up as a factor. But I think what we have to remember is about a third of our town is manufacturing and or uses like this, and that's working for us. The property will not be able to, we can't have ancillary truck parking without a principal use. So the zoning will not allow for that. So don't be concerned about having just a parking lot. We have to have a principal use with ancillary parking as part of that use. So this will bring development, which will increase EAV, which will take the burden off of the third of the village that's residential. So that's what the industrial development does. It eases the burden, the property tax burden on the rest of the town. Also, we don't have to allow unpaved truck parking. Anyone who's come to us and said, I want that deal that's over in the Terra Business Park with the unpaved truck parking, we say no. So we have the opportunity to put standards in place through the process to make sure that the parking is done according to our code, that the truck route is established, and that screening as appropriate is completed. This is also set back from Route 25. So there's a potential for something to be developed in front of it, as you can see. So it's not directly on Route 25, but I just wanted to point out those few things because I understand your concern. We don't just want a parking lot. That's not what they're proposing. So I want to be clear.
No, and my point is that that's not what's being proposed now. We don't know though what will be proposed 5 years from now, or when it does become a situation we've got no other proposals on board here. We've got one in the works, but yeah, it's a truck operation, a logistics company that's gonna go ahead and just park a whole bunch of trucks there. And, you know, we may end up finding, or the board in the future may end up finding itself in a position where we have to defend the decisions that we've made in the past with regard to the Terra Business Park. We've gone ahead and given an awful lot of accommodation with what's going on out there. And there's, I think, a case to be made for the precedent that's been set, and we'll find a challenge to try and deny it in the future. And that's my point to everything we do. If we could just think about what it's going to look like 5 years from now, think about where it'll get us 10 years from now. We don't tend to focus enough on the long-term view, and that's my struggle.
I disagree with that. I think we do. And
Okay.
again, to reiterate Jennifer's point, this is not going to be a parking lot. It would have to be some kind of an ancillary operation.
Where is that written? Where is that written? That it would have to be an ancillary operation. There would have to be a building associated with any parking that would go on there. And who's to say what size that structure would have to be, where it would be located on that lot, and how it would be viewed from the road? There is nothing in the code that dictates that.
The
So we
zoning
might end up with a
code,
little spot
the zoning
way in the
code
back of this lot.
requires,
and
Jeff, let her answer.
25.
Let
the
her-
zoning, the zoning code requires a principal structure
Mhm.
on a lot. And it can't just be an accessory structure by itself on a lot. That's a zoning code requirement. When it's in the M1, that's where the other setback requirements and things fall into place. And the uses, what type of uses are allowable. Of course, there is a lot more leniency in the M1 district. That is true. That's why industrial development is allowed. But there will be requirements for the way the lot is developed.
Okay. Can I ask a quick question? What is the dimensions of the land along Route 25 that's in front of this proposed rezone piece from the edge of 25 heading east? Do we know that?
I don't have the survey with me. I can pull up the package. You know, if I were
I
to
mean,
guess,
this I'm assuming is land that is not part of yours, the Plotie's plot there?
there is a flag to the lot. I don't have the dimensions of that flag in front of me here. So
Okay.
there's the Wendy's. Adjacent to the
Right.
Wendy's is about another 1 acre outlot. And then there's the little flag that leads back to our property, which is set back behind the Wendy's in that outlot.
Yeah, I mean, because as I viewed the packet, it showed the red border of the piece, and it looks as though there's a swath of land along parallel to 25 heading, you know, in the easterly direction that is, I don't know if that's suitable for a fast food operation or what, you know, as far as dimensions or what's required for that kind of business. So I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
According to the survey in the packet, that would the lot to the south of the Wendy's, it's called Lot 5 on the platted subdivision, is 234 feet long north to south, Jeff. So its frontage along 25 is a little less than that because it's not a right angled square shaped lot, and the lot's
Right.
182 feet deep. It is larger than the Wendy's lot to the north of it, however. So that lot to the south is larger than the adjacent fast food user.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Mentioned here. It's 190, I'm doing rough here, 190 feet deep. So you got about 190 feet, maybe in a couple inches from 25 to the property. If that helps.
Okay.
Okay,
It does.
good. All right. Anything else on this one? Catherine?
Lineham,
Yes.
trustee Sella,
Yes.
trustee Wood,
yes,
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
You need to speak, you need to face the computer when you're speaking.
trustee Andreessen,
Yeah, yes.
trustee Coonsey,
Yes.
Okay, very good. Motion passes. Financial reports you have in your packet. We'll go through reports real quick. Not so much a report, but just a couple of quick items. Happen to be at Woodman's today. Notice that Black and Gray Beer has a large assortment there. So if you want to support your local business, you can go by there at Woodman's. Hopefully in other places, but
Way ahead of you.
yeah, they were fortunate to set up a canning operation right before everything shut down the first time. So go support your local businesses. Second thing, for you guys, as well as anybody that is so bored that they watch these videos, I will let you know that flu shots are available. If you have insurance, they're free. You can get them at Jewel, Osco. You can get them at your Walgreens. You can get them at Costco. If you do not have insurance, they're $32. So this should not be off-putting for anybody that's interested in getting a flu shot. And I suggest that you get one this year because it's going to be a long winter. So just to throw that out there for you, let's go around and see who else we want to talk to today. We'll start with the trustees, Mr. Kunze.
Okay, well, I know I did write an email to Lael and Phil. I don't see Phil here, unfortunately, but the leaf collection this week did not go great.
Right.
I understand that it took all week because we had so many leaves, and that's fine, but there were several, including in your lawn, Lael, that they just missed. They just didn't even bother to pick up.
Yep.
There were also large piles where they would just take some and not all of the leaves in the pile.
Yep.
If you go around, I can't remember the name of the road, but at any rate, there's just a lot of leaves that didn't get picked up. And maybe they were overwhelmed with how much there was. I just don't want us to be complacent with them. I want us to tell them that they need to do better.
Yep.
When they're here. That's
Yep.
what I would want our stance to be.
We're with you on that. First of all, yeah, it wasn't the smoothest rollout that we've done in the past. And we only have another week or so of leaves left to go anyway. So I did have a long conversation with Phil yesterday, and you're right, they did not get my house either of the two times they came by. He is contacting them. They did give them maps and GPS mapping, so there's no excuse whatsoever why they should have missed it. And I've talked to several neighbors who had the same issue. They put it out on Monday, and then on Wednesday they still hadn't come pick it up, and so they bagged it on the curb. They're not going to get to everybody on Monday. It might take them the full week to do the circuit.
I understand that, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying.
One of the problems that Phil identified on Friday was that the equipment that they're using has a hose that only extends 3 feet. And so it wasn't capable of picking up the leaves. For example, if they went by my house, they may only be able to get the first half of them. So we're working with them for them to fix this. I don't have an answer yet. I haven't talked to Phil since Friday, and he's out ill today. So we will stay on top of this and provide you with updates, and we'll
Sure.
get it.
Okay. That was the only thing I wanted to say.
Okay, good. Trustee Salop.
Now, my leaves didn't get picked up either, and the neighbor right across the street got picked up. So they were right across the street. I don't understand why they didn't do mine.
Because the street's wider than 3 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them in operation. I mean, I've seen them
I
going
just think
down.
it's a matter of perception.
Yep.
They probably want to make sure that they're not giving favoritism to the trustee.
That's all I got. Thanks.
Trustee Wood, you're on mute.
Am I off mute?
Yep. Now you're on.
Okay. No report.
Very good.
See that? Got off mute for nothing.
See? Trustee Lineham.
Not too much. Just wanted to indicate I got a call into Phil. Unfortunately, he's the man today. I need to get the East Dundee letters from him, the signs, the old signs, so we can put up the gable ends at the depot. I'm not sure if this might end up being a springtime thing, depending on how much decent weather we have and how long it takes me to do. As far as the leaf pickup, I've heard a lot of good things. I live on the corner of Howard and Howard Court. And yeah, I've kind of got the similar situation. They did all along Howard Avenue, but didn't do the side of the house or the court. It was kind of odd. I've just figured, well, they'll come back. And so do we have one more pickup left? Is that how?
We actually have two. We have two.
Two
Yeah.
more? Okay. Was there 4 total? Is that how many it was? 4?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I remember seeing 2 go through and I thought, no, I was out of town for a while, so I might have missed one. So anyway, just, yeah, let you know, the signs are coming on the depot, and the logo on the west side looks really good. I gotta say that it fits.
Yep.
So.
Good.
That's
All
it.
right. Trustee Andreessen,
No report.
trustee Mahoney.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate and to let the Public Works Department know how great the downtown looks.
Yeah,
I don't-
that's great.
Sorry, I joined you guys late. The roof is going on the depot this week. Is that what I heard or read?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And that new sign looks awesome. Downtown looks great. I'm just wondering about our marketing or our communication on the packets and petitions for the April election. I see it on the website, and I'm wondering if we can put that out again one more time on the Facebook pages or on Nextdoor, if it hasn't been done recently, with the packets due for one of the 3 trustees and the mayor's spot starting to be accepted December 14th at 8 a.m. through December 21st at 5 p.m. So there's that happening as well.
Can do that.
That's all I have.
Good, thank you. All right, staff, village administrator.
I have a couple items to report. The first, I just do want to touch on the leaves really quickly. I do apologize for the leaf collection so far. It's just new to the residents and new to the contractor and new to the village. And it is a program that takes a lot of flexibility. I have this program, and like last night, all yesterday, I tarped my leaves because I knew I put them out and I knew they weren't coming, and there was 60-mile-per-hour winds. So I'm like an idiot, you know. I went and put a tarp on my leaves so they didn't end up in the storm sewer, trying to be a good citizen. So it's something that can be frustrating at times, and it will never be perfect, but we have a lot of work to go, and we will do that, and we will keep continuing to communicate with the residents on how the program works and communicating with the contractor on how not to miss any homes. So I apologize about that. Since our last board meeting, we did have a couple of coronavirus cases in the village that span 2 different departments. We believe they were unrelated, which is good news, so that we don't believe there's any transfer from employee to employee within the village organization, because we think we're, doing proper PPE and social distancing and masks and everything else. So that's the good news. However, we're going to be down. We fear that we will be down staff in the Public Works Department. And we are concerned about snow and snow plowing operations and making sure that we are able to clear the roads this winter. Unfortunately, when someone's out for coronavirus, whether it's for them or their family, they're out for a significant amount of time. And if it's multiple employees affected, that's where our concern is. So Phil and I have discussed putting a contractor on retainer, so that we'll be able to have somebody to assist us in case we need it this winter, which we expect we will most likely need it. And so we've talked to 2 contractors. We do need to execute a small contract, nothing significant, so that we become a priority to that contractor at the time in which we may need them to expand their operations in the village. So we actually learned that Santa's Village has a snowplow business. We saw it on Facebook, we reached out to them and they're very eager to assist us in that effort for a minimal contract. And that will allow us to have some backup manpower in case we are very short-staffed in Public Works, which is a possibility. So I wanted to let you know that in case you see Santa's Village plowing out in this winter in the village, that is why. And I'm sure it will be visible and people will notice this is not your Public Works department, and it is not. But they were very thankful for the business as well. So we do think it's a win-win situation, but I wanted to bring that to your attention. That's all I have. If anyone has any questions for me, I'd be happy to take them.
My questions are going to be concerning warrants list items, so I'd like to contact you offline on that
That would be good.
because I have several.
All right. Village Attorney.
No report, except that my kids love to rake leaves. So if you need an extra hand, send me an email and I'll get them out there for you.
All right. Chris,
Cool.
Building Department. Chris?
No, nothing for me, no report.
Okay, good. Let's see who's next here. Village Engineer. Joe, you're on mute. Joe Hines?
Uh,
No report.
Okay, good. Phil is out ill today, as is the chief, so that will conclude the reports for this evening. Last item on here we have is for public comment. If there's anybody out there that would still like to address us or ask us anything. Okay, seeing none, I will need a motion. We do have a quick executive session this evening, so I'm going to need a motion to, are we adjourning or recessing at this point?
So it would be a motion to recess to executive session for the topics listed. And I believe the village board plans to finally adjourn the meeting from executive session and not come back to open session to take any further action or discuss anything further.
Very good. Thank you for that clarification. So if I could have that motion, please. Motion to recess to executive session.
So moved.
Very good.
I
For
can't
discussion of
do it.
minutes and personnel. Did we have a second?
I'll take the second.
All right, very good. All right, Catherine.
Trustee Lineham,
Yes.
trustee Sella,
Yes.
trustee Wood,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
trustee Andreessen,
Yes.
trustee Coonsey,
Yes.
and President Miller.
Yes. All right, very good, folks. We are going to end this call and get on the next one. We'll see you in a minute. Thank
Do
you.
we just get off this and get back on again, or the same link?
There's a separate email with a separate, from Catherine, that's got a separate Zoom meeting because we don't want anybody from the public that was on this meeting to be able to hang on and come into our.
Okay, Catherine, can you do me a favor and can you
Uh-oh.
text me that to my phone number?
I could email it to you, Jeff.
Okay, can you email it to my jlynham21@gmail? I'm sorry, I still haven't gotten my,
There's a password too, so you'll need that. Just like
yeah, she'll send it to us.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Catherine.